Shitty, it ain't no fun, no, it ain't no fun without a little bit of cancer.
Wait, who's Jasmine? I'm sorry, I don't.
We're gonna rehash it. Can you make another reel out of this one? Actually,
No.
Yeah, back in the day, what a beautiful guy.
Aladdin?
Jasmine?
Oh,
Oh, you're
from
talking
Aladdin.
about Disney Princess.
See, so
Yeah.
when you understand who,
Was that your first cartoon crush, you think?
yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
So
a good one.
That's what I discussed in the podcast, which was again was a fun pod to do.
Yeah.
It was funny
Well-
that seeing it isolated.
Well, it's weird though, because like especially like we're all raised with like Disney cartoons because it's like the safe thing. But then you start getting crushes on the cartoons because you just naturally start being. Do you remember what yours was? I know mine.
I mean, it sucks, but it's the hacky Jessica Rabbit. But
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
I'm 37.
Yeah.
So like, I watched Roger Rabbit when I was probably like 5, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then you rewatch it again at like 11. You're like, oh, I missed so much of this plot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because you're, and also I feel like Jessica Rabbit's probably more obtainable because it's next to a real person. So you're like, oh, that actually is.
Yeah.
You're like like it's next to a carpet.
Oh, don't
and you're
don't
like,
paint me this way.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
Paint
yours
Jessica
is
like
weird.
this.
Mine's totally
Well, no,
okay.
mine's even weirder.
What do you
'cause
got?
Mine's not even a human. It's the dog girl from a Goofy movie.
Yeah,
Remember her?
absolutely.
Roxanne.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
Yes.
Disney did that thing for a while where they were
Absolutely.
making all their characters way too human.
Yes.
And then like Incredibles, they were throwing like a huge butt on the mom.
Yeah.
And stuff like
well,
that. And you're like,
got
who
bigger
did
in the
that?
second one.
Yeah.
I think like they like look at market research and
There's
like,
whole
people love the
Reddits
butt.
dedicated to the like people that play the characters in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Like dudes will be on there and they'll be like, yo, the rabbit from Zootopia's cheeks were slamming
Oh,
this
yeah.
year.
God.
It's
But then
not-
also there's someone that has to design that costume.
Costume.
And he's
It's
got to be
not-
like,
yes.
today I'm focusing on the butt. Do I want to go insanely huge or just a normal, no
The entire
one
thing.
would notice
And there
it?
was a long run where they were making just sexy drawings. And that's really
Yeah.
what they are. When you take a step back, some guy is sitting making probably a pretty good amount of money being like, how fuck, like the sock budget
yeah.
on the Goofy movie had
Yeah.
to be unbelievable.
Well, I don't know if I would say they're pretty. I don't know if I'd call Roxanne from with the dog girl. I'm gonna act like I don't know her name. The dog girl. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you've
I
heard
haven't
of
seen
her.
her
Roxanne.
recently. I don't know
know
what
if
she
I'd
looks
say
like.
she was sexy. Jessica Rabbit more so, but she was more pretty.
Well,
They
Jessica
make 'em
Rabbit, they just
pretty.
went over the top.
They went over the
They
top.
were like, yo, how cool are boobs? And he's like, make them even bigger. You're
Yeah,
like, damn, dude.
And it was like a thing. It's like that weird gray area. Like they were almost being cartoonish for a joke, but then they're actually really making
Right.
it. Yeah,
I honestly think in the moment, I don't think they were thinking about like the kids seeing this at all.
No.
I think they were just like, there's going to be some dad that's got to drag his kid to this movie. I might as well, grace him with
Hook him
a
up, yeah,
with
yeah.
a sweet rabbit with some cheeks. You're
Yeah.
like, wait, what? Like, who are you doing this for?
yeah. And the dad's like, guys, we don't want to watch Roger Rabbit again.
Yeah,
You
guys,
sure? Like,
Yeah, throw it
I think I
on.
fell asleep last time. I didn't even finish it. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
even know what happens.
Dads were just manhandling Blockbuster back in the day. Like, we can go. It's cool. No big
Yeah.
deal.
There
Well,
was
I'm
a lot
sure.
of weird ones. There was Betty Boop was always weird too. They were like overly sexualized Betty Boop.
what was she?
But then she had a head that looked
Did you
like she had
watch
like
Betty
a.
Boop?
I don't think she was ever a cartoon. Well, she was, but I think she was just stuff they painted on planes during wars.
I think it was.
Like, I think they were just like, I don't know. We made this girl with a huge head and big boobs. Let's put her on the side of a bomber.
Is that the new
Lola Bunny?
Space
There was a whole thing
Jam?
about this. Yeah.
That's the original.
She's pretty to you. She's not a sexy, beautiful angel.
Okay, I guess I haven't really looked at her in a while.
Yeah, dude.
Well,
I guess they really.
in the second one they gave her bigger shorts, so they
That's good.
they tried to make her
That's good.
more
it's like,
lifelike.
It's like how they changed the green M&M's shoes from high heels to sneakers.
And
Yeah.
true to form, they paid Lola Bunny less because she was a female basketball player.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
They were like, we don't want to, but they were like, we're.
Well, they're just
you know,
not the
we're true to
audience
form.
for it.
Yeah.
You know, they keep saying that excuse. You know, that's why there's the pay gap. But
Damn, they didn't even have her really dunk that much. They even like. She's a cartoon. They could have made her dunk every single
Yeah, just
play.
like left
and they
hand
were
layups
like,
in
we
slow
just
motion.
can't.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
They were like, we have Martians coming from outer space, but we can't have this female
Yeah.
character be really, really good.
And to be an animal that's known for jumping, and you're still like, you're a ground based player, actually.
yeah, maybe that's why I gravitated towards Roxanne because she was more the girl next door. Like I feel like Lola Bunny is like the intimidating.
She embodied. Who would be
Yeah.
the actual human equivalent of Roxanne from a Goofy
from a Goofy
movie?
movie. I'm trying to think.
Is it like early,
Maybe like
Aubrey
a-
Plaza type?
Aubrey Plaza,
vibes?
Jennifer Lawrence. Well,
Okay.
I don't, is Jennifer Lawrence girl next? She's like that weird middle
She
ground
used
of like
to be.
girl
Jennifer
next
Lawrence
door.
scares me.
Well, now she just put out a movie where she's like an adult banging like a tween, right?
Is that what the plot is?
I think
I think it's like
I
loosely what it
read-
is,
I
yeah.
Is that
read
really what it is?
one headline on Instagram, and I've
See
assumed
that? Okay,
everything.
well there you go. Because I thought the premise was like the parents hot, and this is all based on like
make
a
it even worse.
podcast commercial. Not it was the audio. I thought they like hired her to like get their virgin son ready for college, like make him like it's like what's that movie where they're trying to make a poor person look rich. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of movies like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's
Yeah.
that like
It's like the old one.
what's the one?
Pretty Woman.
There's
It is Pretty
the
Woman's
teen
the one.
rom-com one.
She's All That.
She's All That.
Yeah, so I felt like it was like a reverse She's All That, where they're trying to get this loser ready for
Oh yeah,
college.
but it's so funny because it shows you how when it was a guy almost like flipping a girl over in the 90s, they were like, nah, he just made a ugly duckling beautiful.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, it's a woman grooming a boy.
now
Well,
it's
it is-
grooming.
in the
Jesus.
trailer, they should do a little more legwork to be like, would you want to bang our 19-year-old son who's 19?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, they
this
don't say that.
very-
Legal son.
Yeah, like
all they say is that he's going to college. So you're like, he's in high school.
so he's in high
Yeah,
school.
he's in high school.
Is he graduating early? I don't
Yeah.
know. What's his intellect like?
So it's May of his senior year. So technically, it's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
somehow.
is he a late birthday? I don't know.
When you were underage, did you ever go with somebody older?
Not that I can remember, but
Not that I
somebody
know
might have
of.
slipped in there once
Yeah.
or twice.
Actually,
I was a heavy
ironically enough,
sleeper.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
Jennifer Lawrence.
I think
Yeah.
I'm older than her, but somehow when I was younger, she was older than me.
Well, I've definitely heard a lot about that, where it's like guys will just casually talk about, like I think I watched Mark Norman on a podcast talk about like hooking up with like an older woman when you're a kid, and you don't, but guys don't realize that they're talking about being assaulted. They're just like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, it was crazy,
Yeah,
man.
just sharing like
Yeah.
and then as the more you talk, you're like, oh no,
Yeah, it's like
what,
coming
what
out.
happened?
Yeah,
this
like-
is imprinted in me now.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, it's kind of a weird way to walk yourself back of a life event where you're like, that one time I was going 60 on that highway. I don't think that was a fucking speed bump.
Yeah. Yeah,
Also,
you
I was a lot drunker
Why
than
did
I
the
thought.
speed bump scream? That
like
seems.
like you're bragging, and then halfway through you realize you're like.
I still would think it's pretty sick. Now I understand that there's a lot of mental and therapeutic.
But is that weird double standard?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I think it's because it's in the grander scheme of things. 16-year-old Mark Norman, if need be, could take that woman.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
really fend her off. I think that's part of it.
Oh, you're saying it's the power imbalance?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of physicality. That I mean, I can't imagine Mark Norman was a big dude back in
Yeah.
the day, but
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if he was?
whoa, what the hell
Did you
you
see a
doing?
picture of him as 16? He's
Muscular
jacked.
guy. Yeah, because I was 17, 29-year-old. But
Really?
That's a gray area.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
No,
like-
that's a cool ass area.
Well, I honestly, I
Oh,
think,
you were just the coolest 17-year-old? Sorry.
no, it's like it's so not
Oh,
even like a
damn,
cool,
it's sad.
cool story. Yeah, they were like in like a recovery program. It's and it was in
I
Florida.
tricked her.
It was in Florida, so like I wasn't in the.
Oh, it doesn't count.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We have a lot. We talked about it last episode.
It's one of those
we grew
things.
up with a
You
lot
say
of people.
the headline, it sounds cool, and then the more details you get, you're like,
Yeah.
this loses all
Yeah.
credibility. But it almost sounds like the plot of that Jennifer Lawrence movie.
Really?
Yeah,
Your
that was-
parents hired her?
yeah, exactly. I didn't realize she was friends with my dad, actually.
Oh, your dad definitely hired this lady.
Wow, damn.
Your dad was like, I don't know. It's kind of questionable because you were a theater kid too, right?
Yes, yeah, I
Yeah,
was.
your dad was definitely like
This
the theater kid.
My son.
He keeps dancing around the living room. I don't know what to do. And he's
I'll
like,
make him sing a
I
baritone.
got that girl Sarah
Yeah.
I work with. I bet she'd take him out on a date.
Yeah, well, if it's gonna happen anywhere, Florida.
Yeah,
That's
true.
The place it's gonna happen.
Did you grow up in Florida?
No, so when I graduated high school, I moved down to Florida for a few months to live with my dad to save up enough money to move to LA.
Okay.
Because like I didn't go to college, so
Right.
yeah. But I grew up in Philly. I feel like
Okay.
all of us here did, right?
Yeah, around
Yeah,
the-
we're
from
both South
Jersey.
Jersey kids, but
Oh, you're South
we've
Jersey?
lied long enough and just said Philly that, it's somewhat true.
But I mean, South
It's the
Jersey
same
is
thing.
it's a suburb. Of
You're one of the
Phil-
first
Philly.
people from Philadelphia to be like, we also recognize you as part of Philadelphia.
Well-
Everyone else is like, fuck you, you don't know nothing about Philly.
It's ridiculous. I mean, actually, I'm kind of being a hypocrite because for a while, when
I do think you guys are pussies. But
No. When I was living out of Philly, I definitely had that. Oh, that's not real Philly. But now that I'm back and I've
Yeah.
met people from other areas, especially South Jersey, when like if Philly's a part of Pennsylvania and you meet people from Pennsylvania, people from South Jersey feel more like
Oh yeah,
the same than
it's the
anyone.
same. I always say, I'm like, you could drop anyone in front of a strip mall in Philly or South Jersey, like the Philly suburbs or South Jersey.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the same stores in there. It's gonna be the same people.
Yeah.
It's not till you go out to like I lived out in Harrisburg for 3 years. That's where like people start to get different.
Yes.
And it's like some for the better, most not. But you're like,
Yeah.
people get different the more trees
what
there
just
are.
attitude or
Well, first off, like just like general exposure to the world. It's that kind of thing where you're like, if the people that are from there stayed there, never left, and then it's like a mix of out there was different because it was like the state capital, so you'd meet people that are there for politics and stuff like that.
tourists.
So yeah, and it
Yeah.
was so there was that mix, but like it was a city placed in the middle of the country. So it's still like, you're like, we're in a city, but then there's just Confederate flag
it didn't really
trucks.
take. Like
yeah.
the host is rejecting it. Yeah.
It's a constant battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is true to say Harrisburg is a cancer. You're right.
That's what I was trying to get at. It is.
That being said, I love Harrisburg with all my heart, kind of.
You got a huge Harrisburg fan base you're trying to not alienate here.
I think we got upwards of, there's got to be at least 11 viewers in that greater Harrisburg area.
Yeah, in the greatest Harrisburg area.
And it was, I lived there for 3 years. I think 3 years is the perfect amount to live somewhere that you're unsure about.
Yeah.
Because it's like we gave it a shot. It was good, but it wasn't where I was.
Yeah, you need some seasonal changes. Because to feel the same season come back again, you kind of feel like you've gotten. I didn't say anything funny. I don't know what that was.
I just get that way whenever anyone talks seasons.
Yeah, you just
I'm going to be straight up with you, dude. That might be one of the 11 grossest things I've ever seen in my time.
I'm holding on to the remnants of losing my voice. I was at a bachelor party all weekend.
Oh, wow.
So I'm drinking throat coat tea with an insane amount of honey in the
Dude,
bottom
I thought
of it.
that was dip. I thought that was fucking tobacco dip.
As you were saying
dark.
that, all that honey just hit my throat. Old throat honey.
The
That's
idea
what they
that
call it.
if we all put our
Sorry,
mics
you were
down,
saying Harrisburg sucks?
No, man.
we all put our mics down, and you step out, and we're like, you shouldn't have brought up the seasons thing, dude.
Yeah, dude, we should have told you ahead of time. We can't talk.
You say autumn, he fucking goes nuts. It triggers him.
That's wild.
How long did you live in LA for? Because that's probably a similar.
Like 6 months.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get to the 3-year mark.
But 6 months in LA is probably
3
the
years
equivalent
everywhere
of 3
else.
years
Yeah,
anywhere else.
the amount of the time, it's taken off of you. Well, for me, it was just more of a case. I didn't have a car, and I was like 18.
Yeah, you need it out
you
there.
Need it.
Right?
I didn't know that. I thought I'd just go out there and figure it out, but that wasn't.
You didn't
the
think
case.
to Google, hey, what are the 3 things I probably need before moving to LA?
Yeah.
1, car.
Yeah, people.
True.
Yeah, another one.
So you went out there without knowing anyone.
One other guy.
Oh, that's tough.
And he's out there now.
He also didn't know anything.
Well, so we both moved out there at the same time. I left. He stayed. Now he lives in Malibu and is a songwriter with his wife.
Oh, it sounds terrible.
Who knows who won that situation?
Yeah. Ball's still up in the air on that.
Yeah, exactly. Jury's out on who made the right choice. But no, it's just that's his path. But he's a musician,
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I only stayed out there for a few months. Have you guys ever been out there at all?
He's a big LA guy. He's really
I love
easily,
LA.
dude.
I have some family. I
love visiting
extended
now.
family right outside. Like they're like out by the airport. It's like right on the beach there.
Oh, like
so we
Long
go
Beach?
like almost annually.
Oh yeah.
And then for work, I've been there a lot too, like for my day job.
You probably go to the beach more than people who live in LA.
I probably have, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it helps too. My brother-in-law, who we go out to see, he's like a big surfer. So like we would go because of him. But even like when we would go with them, nobody goes in the water.
Yeah.
Like people kind of just sit around. It's not like I'm used to going to Jersey Shore,
Right.
where it's like you make a 2-week stint out of
Yeah.
like, I'm getting sunburnt for 14 days. It's going to hurt.
No one's really body surfing on the West
Right.
Coast.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
dude, really?
I love it out there though. I like it a lot, but I've also never been out there longer than a week and a half. So
Well,
it's like I enjoy for what it is for me. I
With
actually
great
drove by a house that I stopped. I made my wife do a turn around the block because I wanted to Google if it was the house from Angels in the Outfield.
Oh,
Turns
really?
out it was not.
It was in LA.
It was in LA, and it was like a pretty dicey looking house that it did look exactly like the house.
Yeah.
But that research stopped after that.
But then
we
you
did drink in the there's a brewery that is in the building that was the New Girl apartment. So that got me really excited.
that's
I was like,
awesome.
I've seen this exterior.
Yeah. No way to
It's
shot
that
in
kind
there,
of like
but-
it was that kind of thing where I was like, it's super lame. I was like, I'm excited that this is here.
Dude, but
I
you gotta
can't
own
argue
that.
it.
You gotta
Yeah.
own that. What makes you excited? You
Oh
know?
yeah. It was that.
You like get a kick out of it.
I don't like. That's the thing I hate
That was
too.
a beautiful interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love LA, but again, like I say, I love it because it's like I'm going to see family I love.
Yeah.
And then we're doing cool shit for like we went to Catalina Island last time. And that
Oh,
is like
yeah.
a whole nother experience. I preach about it all the time. There's like, and everyone I know that lives in LA has never even been there.
No.
So it's like there are those little things that I think people don't even do that
Yeah.
are right there. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and like I was saying, well, Catalina Island, isn't that where, Natalie Wood, that actress who died mysteriously?
Yeah.
I think that was the island she was on.
off.
when-
Yeah, wasn't it like off of a because
Like
they talk
her-
about that
her
in Once
boat.
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, they do?
They
They
do
talk about
like
Natalie
a.
Wood?
They do
Oh,
a
they do
spoof
Brad
of it
Pitt?
almost
Yeah.
when he shoots his wife with the harpoon gun.
Yeah.
Because wasn't the rumor that like
Santa Catalina Island died, yeah.
who killed her
So-
allegedly?
everyone's pretty damn sure it's Robert Wagner, the actor.
Okay.
But I watched a documentary on it where it's like the daughters are like pleading like he's innocent. We need to stop this. But it's so.
That's funny. They didn't
suspicious.
cover this whole story on the tour of Catalina Island.
Yeah, they don't talk about it a lot.
They were just like, it's a beautiful fishing town where nothing bad has ever happened.
They start every tour with like, if you killed her, you got to say it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Gathering people for
as you're getting off the boat, like, did you do it?
Yeah.
All right, you can come in. No, all they like rave about there was Marilyn Monroe lived there for a little bit. I think she went there to get clean, and everyone's like, Marilyn lived here, and you're like, that was her dicey years.
Wasn't the best of it.
There's not many pharmacies on the island, so she couldn't get her hands on pills. So
Dude,
I think she was a prisoner more than a resident.
I was driving past today on Spring Garden, the Edgar Allan Poe historical site. I'm like, did he live here or did he just like have like a bender here?
I think he was
definitely that he would just go places and have benders, which does rule. Like going from Philly to Baltimore to wherever he went.
That's like the kind of stuff I would love to go back in time to see that because like he's so allotted, and then you go actually see Edgar Allan Poe, and you're like, oh, you were just a degenerate drunk.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
you
we just met
that
him.
guy in a bar.
But
Yeah.
he's that guy sitting at a bar getting fucking hammered, and then he goes to his publisher, gives him what he wrote, and he's like, "What's this about? I got no fucking idea, dude. I gotta go."
But everyone else thinks, oh, the symbolism.
Oh, it's so
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
He's like, dude,
I don't
I'm
know.
pissed
He's
on
like, I
this
saw a
page.
fucking raven outside.
Yeah,
That was it.
Exactly. We extrapolate from that. But just like you were talking about with LA, you had a very particular experience, like very curated.
Yeah.
And just like that, where it's like I was saying with my friend downtown, and there was a bunch of like homeless people and like, you know, and like, I don't know. I don't want to sound like we're like shitting on the homeless because it's tough because
They're not gonna watch us.
they're not going to. Well, you know, like
We don't have a big homeless following yet.
Well, I feel like I
know what you mean.
I see a lot of people online, especially like the people who call them like houseless instead of homeless.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's like all that stuff of like changing phrases and not fixing the problem.
Right.
I feel like there's a lot of like younger people who probably like grew up in the suburbs, you know, who don't actually interact with homeless people. Like my girlfriend grew up in the suburbs, and she's a social worker, so she's very
Right.
much like, you know, use these terms and stuff like that. But then she moves to the city, and like now she's actually scared of homeless people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like a lot of people who are very like, you know, sensitive about the topic, they don't actually, you know, have that firsthand experience.
Yeah, they're
with them.
sensitive online about it.
Exactly. And it's like, and especially like the changing houseless to homeless. It's like, what is that? What does that solve?
Who's that for? Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Who's
like,
that
hey, I'm
for?
still hungry and I don't have a house
I was
or a
saying,
home.
its bigger
I'm nothing.
problem is they're also dollarless because you avoided them when you walked
Exactly.
by.
Yeah.
You don't really care that
Exactly.
much.
And it feels like it's all for the people saying it to feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Like they
Well,
give
that's
a
the thing
fuck.
that sucks too is there's so many different levels of homeless. I know a dude that like he grew up in the town next to me. He used to beg in Philly all the time, and I've seen him a couple times. And I would like say to people like, oh, you know, I saw Dylan. They're like, yeah, he's not homeless. He just goes out and begs. He just has like he's not doing great.
Yeah.
But like, I think it stemmed off of he had a drug problem.
Well,
but like,
yeah.
he had a job and a place to live, and he also begged. So I think
Yeah.
he was just doing it for the love of the game, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was
Well-
there is different levels because then you get the homeless people that were homeless by choice. There's some people that like there's a lady in my town now. Like he lives a block away or a mile away from me. And it's like a beautiful little downtown.
Yeah.
There's a homeless lady in that town that like everyone's just like, that's Margaret or whatever. Like
Yeah.
on a Facebook, it's like the moms of my town group. My wife's on there and she's like, oh, apparently her name's Margaret. She loves hot cocoa and you're not supposed to talk to her after like 10 a.m. You're like, all right, I know this lady came with
10
rules
a.m.
too.
Yeah.
Jesus. Like,
Good Lord.
but like she'll just sit there like she's so untouchable. We'll be at like the farmer's market and you're walking along and it's like, oh, we got to get tomatoes. Oh, we're going to go get some eggs. We get my daughter like a balloon animal. And then it's just the homeless lady sitting there
Like it's
with
her-
her cart. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is she part of the farmer's
Yeah,
market?
what stand is
like,
this?
can I buy something from this cart now? I don't know how this works.
Yeah.
She's just got a sign that's like head $10.
Yeah. All right, honey, you go over there. I'll be right back.
in is
I'll meet up
extra.
you.
She's like, you got to hold the produce when I do it.
But like she's
Yeah.
a lady who like has chosen to be homeless. Like
Yeah.
from what everyone has said, they're like she has a place to sleep when it's cold, like a shelter, but
Yeah.
she just wants to do her thing. So then you're like, is it a mental thing? Is it
Well,
like,
yeah, you can't paint with a broad brush. Everyone has a different reason that they
Right.
fall into those situations.
Right.
But it's just I don't know. It's frustrating. Like as someone who like is a liberal, like I feel frustrated with people who like don't acknowledge things are problems.
Right.
Just because, like the same way it's like you gotta say differently abled than handicapped because they don't want to make it sound like being handicapped's a bad thing. It's like it is a bad. Do you
Yeah.
want to be?
You're spending more
Homeless.
time. Yeah, at that point, you're spending more time fixing people's grammar than you are
Yeah,
helping a
fixing
cause.
the issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes we're so idealistic that we become hypocritical, where it's like, where it's like, we want to act like homelessness isn't a problem, but it's like you're being a hypocrite because you're not.
Right.
Like, what do you?
I only were focusing enough on how funny some homeless people are.
Yeah.
I saw a guy with a sign the other day, and it just said, it was like, if you're reading this, isn't that pretty good? I think you should owe me $1. This is a pretty good story. Why don't you give me $1? At the bottom of it, I was like, I don't got one, but I just read that whole thing. That was pretty good. All right.
Meanwhile, he stole from you while you're reading.
Meanwhile, my tires are gone on my car.
Yeah, that's why they make the side so long. So you're like reading it. It's getting like
that's
smaller.
That's become a thing
and
in Philly again now. Like tire jacking is like, becoming like a problem in Philadelphia again. And they said that like I've seen a thing that they're like targeting people with New Jersey tags.
Oh, I don't blame them. That's an insane. What are they gonna do with the tire? Just have a ball of fun with it?
Just go sell them.
That'd be crazy if you came.
You just
down
roll them down Broad Street. You race them
like some cool park in Philly. And there's just a bunch of dudes rolling inside of tires down the hill. I'm like, you can have it. You've heard this one.
Just a real tough guy saying we.
You guys are but houseless, of course.
Yeah. They don't give a fuck about making money. They're just trying to have a good time.
If that's what it was, dude, more power.
Yeah, if you're making a swing, like,
give them somewhere warm to sleep at night.
That's what you'll see a sign every once in a while that's like, I don't believe in God. I don't care about your politics. I literally just want to drink. And I'm like, that's the guy I'm going to give $1 to. He's honest.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Well, there's always that like one story about, I feel like for people to justify not giving them money, they're like, well, you ever hear about the one guy, he's a millionaire and he's still, you ever hear that story?
Right.
I feel like that's something people tell themselves to not like.
Yeah. It's also the story that no one knows any detail to other than that one time
guy,
a rich guy did a thing.
Yeah, we all heard about that millionaire.
Yeah. Wasn't there a guy that wrote a book about that though? He went out and pretended to be poor, I think in New York every night.
Really?
And like begged, and he's like, yeah, I made like 40 grand last year.
No way.
I swear, I think I saw it on like.
You can't be making that much.
60 Minutes or something years ago. I could be making this up again also. It was Dana Jacobson too, also listeners. If you were listening from last week, the reporter's name I couldn't remember.
That guy's accountant's got to be like, you cannot afford another shopping cart. I'm telling you, that's it. You get the one and you're done. Don't get greedy.
That was last week's stuff. Yeah, Dana look Jacobson. Up fake homeless guy writes book.
Just Shark Tank homeless people.
It's so weird to imagine you make that much money though.
Where do you put it?
How many people?
Can you have a bank?
That's what cargo pockets are for.
That's what the homeless pockets are.
We got to start giving homeless people more cargo pockets.
I like that. Blind
Willie by Stephen King. Well, I don't know if that one's true.
Stephen King was homeless.
Yeah, dude, he was on a couple benders himself.
Yeah, that's true. He had a big.
He's a little bit of a egg round Poe of our time. He just gets like yacked out of his
Honestly,
mind.
Didn't
he say he got like so coked out he doesn't remember writing Cujo
or like any of the 80s?
Yeah, like all those movies. He's like, I would just do a whole bag of coke and wake up, and there would just be a movie.
He's a guy when you picture him writing a book, you picture like a montage with like heavy metal playing in the background, and he's just like,
yeah.
All right, we got to get something together.
Going on.
What if it's a dog? What if it's a real scary dog?
That's how you know he's on coke when he wrote the ending of It. I don't know if the actual book material.
What's the book ending?
So when they're kids, the only way that they can get out of the lair is they all have to have sex.
Yeah,
yeah.
Which is like, dude.
But they don't all have sex. They run a train and they take turns.
Even worse,
having like it would be kind of awesome if it was like a human centipede of sex and they're all like inside each other in a circle.
And if they were legally consenting adults, internet.
Oh yeah, totally. No, but I meant
we all float down here.
Yeah. But the fact that it's like all of them, all the girls, like that's
that was definitely Stephen King woke up and he was like, fuck, that book's due today.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I got to type. Oh.
I think I think the editors were like, Stephen, please. And he's like, leave it in.
Put it in.
Yeah, we can't.
I'm Stephen King, goddammit.
That's so sick, dude.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But that's like, you want that guy doing coke. Like, did he do any, I'm not a big reader. Was Stephen King's best work when he was on coke?
That's what
most prolific, at least.
Yeah, that's when he was like making a bunch.
See, there's some people in this world that just need heavy.
There's a lot of that shit. Like a lot of artists, from comics to writers and stuff, have to be fucked up to do what they do normally, which is insane.
Did you watch John Mulaney's new special?
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
He's clean.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not a one size fits all. Some people,
but
it's definitely different energy.
He was able to do such a great look
energy.
at addiction, because it's like so many times when people talk about addiction, it's like they talk about all the bad sides, and he was like, no, I was doing the best I've ever done.
I looked amazing.
Yeah, sometimes cocaine isn't that bad. He's like, yes, it was detrimental to my life, but my life was going pretty great at the moment.
It is a funny way to put it. The energy was like turned down from 115 to like 20. He just stands in one spot on the stage now. Before, I mean, he's doing bigger venues, so you kind of span the stage a little bit more. But even still, like
you went from like Cat Williams to Stephen Wright.
John Mulaney was a bit of a Cat Williams.
Yeah, he was the white cat.
A lot of people were saying John Mulaney, you heard it here first, is the white
Cat Williams. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, motherfuckers. But we'll keep that one of the cheap.
But no, I love your point too of like, especially when it's an overall net negative thing like addiction. Mm-hmm. We don't want to highlight the parts you enjoy, but it's like, obviously, there's good parts to it because why else would you keep doing?
I mean, it's like Chris Farley, fucking Mitch Hedberg, all these guys.
We talked about it last episode. My dad had a crippling gambling addiction.
Yeah.
But along the ride, he got a lot of really cool shit out of a crippling gambling addiction. I got to go to like awesome concerts in Atlantic City. I'm pretty sure one of the guitars I have was a like consolation prize. Like he lost a lot of money and they were like, here, take this Epiphone Les Paul. My dad came home. He's like, look what I won. Like,
by losing everything.
I was like, I'll love you forever.
Yeah. Hey, instead of college, you want a guitar?
Oh, yeah. I look at that every time that I still have to pay my student loans off. I'm like, God damn it.
That's great. My dad has a bad gambling problem. He's an addict in a lot of ways, but when did your dad kick it?
When they said, hey, you're going to jail.
Oh, shit, really?
He was gambling with money that wasn't his. That was the problem.
Oh, fuck.
So, yeah, he was...
like embezzling type of...
Yep, exactly. That ended up being wire fraud, basically.
No way.
What he went to jail for. He went to white-collar jail, too.
Yeah.
We've talked about a bunch in here, but it was hilarious. He crushed it in jail.
Did he? Was he like, did he run a pool and like got people to gambling?
He said he was like, the hardest thing about being in jail, he's like, is not gambling.
Yeah.
Because you're just all you're doing all day. Because he was in like medium secure, not like the fence was literally this high when you went to go visit him. Anyone could escape. But he's like, you're just so bored. You're just finding stuff to do all day to kill time. He's like, and most of that stuff is everyone gambling.
Yeah.
And he's like, even if it's just we're gambling Pop-Tarts on basketball games, like, he's like, so I would have to like walk away from stuff all the time. I was like, you could tell me you walked away with a box of s'more tarts.
I feel like that's got to be one of the more wholesome gambling things that happen in jail.
Yeah,
they're just in there gambling Pop-Tarts on the old.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, they don't talk about
that's
the fun things that happen in jail.
Yeah, let's talk about exactly.
He learned yoga. That was hilarious. He learned yoga and meditation.
Your dad did not go to jail. He left your family for a little bit. There's no way.
I'm sorry.
I think he was on a retreat.
Yeah, I think there's just a place in the New Jersey Pinelands for just dudes that want to go hang out. Like.
Dude, that's like
it's a jail you buy into.
It was actually a men's right retreat.
Damn, that's true. Now I'm starting to think about. I don't know a lot of the details of like when he got busted by the quote unquote feds. It could have just been two people he hired.
The entire phrase sounds like when people try to say that you're not appreciating how heavy something is. Where it's like it's not all gambling Pop-Tarts and doing yoga. Apparently it is, dude.
That's kind of all I think. If you were just gambling, eating Pop-Tarts and doing yoga, you're probably living a pretty healthy lifestyle.
Dude, that was ages 9 through 15 for me. I was scarfing tarts and fucking
doing yoga,
getting bent
trying
out of
to
shape.
Suck your own dick.
Yeah, dude. As a real man would. I came pretty close a couple times.
Pun intended.
The Pop-Tarts actually...
no, pun unintended. But
the Pop-Tarts actually hindered it. The more Pop-Tarts you ate, the bigger your
pretty
belly
close.
got.
Sounds like you had to dodge it. Yeah, it was like it's you almost hit you in the
technical with
ear.
it. Yeah, shadowboxing my own cum. No, dude, I think every guy tries at least once.
Did you look up like a tutorial, or did you just kind of wing it on your own?
Just homegrown, just kind of, put my head down.
Are we still talking Pop-Tarts? Huh? Are we still talking
No,
Pop-Tarts?
we're talking about
we're talking our own weenie
dick.
peeps, dude.
I actually call it popping my tart. So
that's a rite of passage.
I don't know if I ever tried to fully, but I try to see if I could like.
Well,
get
that actually
to it.
brings us to the segment called Connor. Can you suck your own tart?
No, I don't think I could.
If we all put our
Did you
heads
ever make
together.
contacts?
I got like maybe the brush of a tongue.
Tip to tip.
And I went, whoa, what
You
the
haven't tried
hell is
since you
that?
had
You had to
mustache
extend.
then.
You had to extend the tongue.
I went tongue. I went chin came out, and I was really getting down there. And I said, "Today's the godforsaken day."
Yeah.
But the gods had other plans for me.
Flew too close to the sun. Got
Flew
scared.
way too close to my son, my seed down there.
It's a real dickerous
To your
story.
sons. Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe it, dude. I would have fancied you a self try one time.
I know. I think I did, but I realized I could kind of get close. But like, man, my ribs are in pain. No, I don't remember. I don't remember. But
Do you
I
remember
think
when
you're
there was
right.
that
Every guy's
rumor
tried it.
that Marilyn Manson had ribs removed so he could
And
suck his
how
own
did
dick?
every 8th grade boy hear about that? Like every middle school.
Because that was pre-internet. There was also the rumor that he was
Sierra?
Paul Pfeiffer from the Wonder Years. The friend Paul with the big glasses and the big nose. I don't know if did you ever watch the original Wonder Years? So there was a rumor that it was him. And I remember Preston and Steve in Philly had him call in one time. And they were like, all right, we got to know the whole point of the interview. He's like, I'm not Marilyn Manson. That was like it.
It was before the internet.
So yeah, it was a rumor
with
this
the
guy
glasses,
was Marilyn Manson.
I could kind of see that.
Did you say Sierra?
Well, that wasn't the female rumor.
That was the massive one. Yeah.
That she could suck her own dick.
Yeah, that Sierra could suck her own dick before she cut it off.
She had ribs put in to stop herself from sucking her own
that
dick.
beat was automatic.
Where did that start?
That one was crazy.
It's crazy how it's before the internet.
Yeah.
And how did every school in the country hear the same rumor?
It's unbelievable.
I
remember like watching her and being like, she's so hot, and the people were like, she's a dude, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
That was most of my
Don't
childhood.
ruin this for
I
me.
think it's because of the song "Goodies." And there's a line, maybe I've misheard it, but I think there's a line in the song "Goodies" by Sierra where it says, "If you're looking for my goodies, keep on looking because they're sitting in a jar."
Really?
I think that's
you
how
really nailed the acting like you didn't know the lyrics and then
like,
reciting them precisely.
No, a dude in my class said it. He told me about it. If you're looking for my goodies, yeah, because they stay in the jar. So I think the way I heard it, someone told me it's proof that she has a penis. Or she used to, that she was, I think this is an outdated term, but hermaphrodite.
Sure.
And it's like, because they stay in the jar, so she kept it as memorabilia.
Of her former life.
It's next to all of her Grammys on a shelf.
There is a line in the song that says "I have a dick and balls" too.
Yeah, you skip past that one. That's the uncensored version.
Oh, there's that other verse. I was born a man. I was born a man.
Yeah.
I was born a man.
But that, to me, that is the explanation I got. I don't know if that's why everyone started the rumor.
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, there was also that same rumor with who's the actress from Michael Myers movies?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. There was that rumor that she was
what it probably
born
is?
like a hermaphrodite. But then you look back and you're like, at the time, she was like the most beautiful woman in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's just someone that was like, we can start this and take her down a peg.
I truly think it is just as white guys who haven't seen a lot. Like I didn't see a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
I saw a woman with short hair, Jamie Lee Curtis, gotta be a man. And then I saw a woman with muscle tone who was taller than 5'8", Sierra, gotta be a man.
Yeah.
They could have been. Well, there is. I forget the term though, where it's like people who the parents do have to make a decision if they're going to be like a male or female. But I forget what that term is called.
I thought it was hermaphrodite, but I don't know if that's the medical
It's something
term.
sex. It's something sex, not intersex. I forget what it is.
Here's the one. Didn't Shaner talk about the one on here where it was like a child, unfortunately, during like a surgery, had their junk like burn off, and then the parents were like, "Make her a girl, make them a girl."
Yeah.
And then later on, I'm pretty sure he talked about it on here, or maybe I heard him talk about it on another podcast. Later on down the line, that person found out like they were like mutilated, and they didn't have a choice. Yeah.
Whoa.
Damn.
Maybe it wasn't on this podcast then.
Yeah.
Maybe I just got to stop listening to all the
when
podcasts
is
in the
fire
Philadelphia area.
being used around
I don't know.
newborn?
You know what? I'm not even going to claim like I know the story. It was one that I listened to half asleep probably.
Sounds like something that happens in Delco, like someone smoking a Newport.
True, they called the Delco special.
Yeah, burn your dick off. That's
You
wild.
have cigarette burns. And you're like,
You
"You're
just
not going
dropped
to
in the car. You're like, well, I guess I'm cutting this thing off now.
Yeah, exactly.
That doctor had to have been the worst. Like walking in there and be like, burn your kid's dick off. Yikes.
Good news, bad news. Good news.
Yeah.
Oh, poor little girl.
Urban
Lady girl
fire
now.
ritual. Okay, yeah.
But
This is just
I
getting
think that
depressing.
Jamie Lee Curtis thing might actually be that she's one of those people who
that was
they could-
born.
But again,
that-
it still might be a rumor.
Yeah.
But what still amazes me about the Sierra thing is that like before the internet, how did information spread like
It's
that?
like Richard
No idea.
Gere with the gerbils. That was like in the 70s. People were spreading the rumor that Richard Gere put gerbils in his ass.
But for some reason, when it's adults spreading the rumor,
It's
it makes
all
more
conversation.
sense. But when it's kids in school
Right.
across the country, that's when I don't get how that spreads.
It is insane, but yeah, I guess.
I mean, I guess I don't understand how civilization works, but that just blows my mind. That
I
like,
remember being part of the morning announcements. They were
Yeah,
like, "All right,
yeah,
kids, today's lunch is pizza on French bread, and also Sierra was
if
born
you listen
a
to
man."
the song "Goodies,"
Yeah, you're gonna wonder what she has in the jar. We got answers for you guys. More to 11.
But also, what does that line mean?
Stay
in the
now
jar.
that we haven't approached it, it is a pretty
I'm trying to think
obscure.
what goodies I keep. I don't keep any goodies in a jar currently.
Yeah,
she's
cookies.
I
Maybe
leave them
it's
in-
referring to like cookie jar.
That's probably what
The
it is.
goodies are in the jar, like you can't, like a chastity belt, like you can't touch them situation.
There you go.
I hope not. I hope Sierra was
Definitely
sharing
a
the goodies,
cookie
for God's
jar
sake.
reference.
Yeah, well,
She's
now,
a 6'9" basketball player, like she.
and now she's married to a very religious man, right?
Who's that? Oh, Russell Wilson, right?
right?
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, she has
His
like a whole
goodies are
thing.
in a jar too.
Her goodies are way out of the jar now. She
Yeah.
like banged Future or something like that.
Oh, she did Future.
She had a kid.
Yeah,
Me too.
Paris.
Yeah, if he could get me, dude, that little raspy voice, I would give him a kiss on the cheek. But
Yeah.
apparently, she had a kid by Future who's now raised by Russell Wilson. There's like this whole
And the
entangle-
kid's named Future, so that's gotta. I'm not even kidding.
Is that
Future
for real?
Junior,
Yeah.
actually.
No, it's just
way.
Future. I'm pretty sure. So how fucked up? You have to raise the kid of someone else, and Future. So you have to raise the kid of someone else, and it's the name of the baby daddy.
Oh my god,
and
dude!
and the last name is Wilburn, which is so close to Wilson, but it's
Dude.
not the same.
Yeah.
If
not
you're
the
Russell
same.
Wilson and you have any balls, when they're like has a kid with her, and they're like, "What do you want to name the kid?" The kid's name is "My mom is a fucking dude."
Yeah.
That's the only payback. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
his
Wait,
name was
so
Yeah,
this
Future.
was so it's Future's kid. Old Russ is raising it.
Yeah, but it's named Future.
Okay.
So Future's not even named Future. So this guy
His name's
has
Russell.
to raise the actual Future.
So he's the actual Future.
But it's so like that's. I feel like he did that. Future did it on purpose, knowing he was gonna break up with Sierra, just to be like, I'm gonna screw
Yeah, I'm gonna
over.
leave my mark.
Yeah,
Literally.
literally. And like now, they have to raise his kid.
Holy shit, dude!
It's
What is
pretty
that kid
wild.
like? That kid's blood type is lean.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, I can't believe that. I thought that was just a fun little jokey joke.
No, Future.
Well, how can we
Future
discuss
Wilburn.
also how their other child's name is just Win, Win?
That's
True.
awesome. Well, you know,
I hope that kid.
You know,
grows up to
Russell
be
was
the
in charge of
biggest
that
loser.
one.
Yeah, that was Russell.
That's all Russell right
Yeah.
there. A dorky, sincere thing.
It's
I
Sure,
want to
Russell
name my kid
Wilson.
"Fuck You Future," but apparently
yeah.
that's not allowed on a birth certificate.
Yeah, true. Apparently, he is like he handles it well enough where he does want to be part of the kid's life, even
Oh, really?
knowing all this. Russell Wilson.
Oh,
yeah.
Russell Wilson.
What if
Yes,
you find out that the kid Win is actually just J Rock's kid that he had with Sierra? Remember
Oh,
J Rock
true.
had that song "Win"?
It's DJ
Win,
Khaled's
win,
kid.
Win, win.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Really?
He just says "win" a whole lot, and
That's
then in the
awesome.
middle says "fuck everything else, win, 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 win."
Oh yeah,
that's the whole song.
Being a 21-year-old white kid in college when that song came out, I was like, maybe I'm the fucking best. Now that
Yeah.
I'm thinking
yeah,
about
being a 37-year-old white guy that runs to it once a week is pretty cool too.
it. Oh yeah, do you run? Are you a runner at all?
I can't.
yeah, I've been
I
meaning to
can't
ask you.
qualify it as running. I will say I'm a jogger.
Oh, that's
I
I'm
would
a
love
jogger,
to say
yeah.
I run,
full on joggers.
but if I was to watch the tapes, I'm like, that's not running.
Like, how many miles will you do though?
Only two. I can only do two.
Okay, that's fair. I can live with
I
that.
can only jog two, but it's more of like a mental clearing of the cobwebs thing. It's not even like I'm like.
you should try more miles. Then you can clear so many more cobwebs.
Yeah, you're right.
It's incredible.
See,
I
this
love reaching. I'm that classic, artist type of just do the bare minimum and then check the fuck out.
Dude, but the fact that you're clearing the cobwebs, like you have a healthy relationship with it, I don't know if I can get behind it. He runs
What?
like 40 miles a day.
I've been lacking.
And it drives me
I've been
nuts.
lacking a lot.
day?
No, not a day.
But that you could do that in one day though. 40?
No, I can't. I did 37 and a half in one day.
That's crazy.
It
to me.
was an ultra marathon. It was like a 12-hour. You get 12 hours to do as many miles as possible.
Whoa.
And I did 37 and a half. The guys I ran it with did 49 and 61. So that was fucking insane. But that was I always
don't get
preface this with you guys could go on 2 weeks of training and complete this thing. It's more of like I spent more time walking and eating potato chips because you're going for 12 hours. You have to just continually
And
eat.
you got to get those calories.
Yeah, like I don't think the fastest I ever ran was maybe like an 11 and a half minute mile pace. So
Okay.
like it was you're shuffling.
Yeah.
And you're just going forever. It was dumb. I did it to be like, well, if I'm going to really because usually I was like you said, I'm usually like, I'll do the bare minimum. I say I do this thing. I was like, all right, if I do this and I still like running, then I'll continue with it.
Yeah.
And I have, but now I know I'll never do something like that again.
But you at least know if you wanted to, you could.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we all say they're like, I could do that. I just don't really want to. But you at least know.
Yeah, at least like checked it off. It was
Yeah.
like, yep, I can do this.
Something you are possible of doing.
Yeah, I hurt myself a bunch. This definitely took like a week off my life, probably.
Yeah, or
later
at least
on.
your ability to stand comfortably.
Oh yeah, no, I did
Yeah.
a lot of laying down. And the worst part was it's a loop right, literally 150, 200 yards from my house. So I ran by my own street, like it was I think 11 laps around this river
Yeah.
that's right there. I ran past my own street 11 times, and the entire time I was like talking to myself. I was like, "You can just go home. Like nobody's telling you can't just go home."
I'm sure your wife was saying the
go
same
to
thing
sleep.
too.
Yeah,
like
she's like, "Please,
yeah, I need your help."
Yeah.
and you're
We have a
taunting
child. We have
her
a small
by going
child.
past the
Yeah.
house. That's
It's
even
like,
more
raise
fucked
it
up.
yourself. I'll be home and hurting for a
Like,
week."
If we're trying to stop you, and you're like dodging past her.
You juke her.
Nothing
make her
can
fall.
stop me.
You're still not that athletic. You slip a little bit. Just
Yeah.
grab it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, so dude, you sold
Crossover.
out helium not too long ago.
Yeah.
What was that? How is that? What was that like, dude?
That was cool, man. That was
Yeah.
definitely the most I've ever had for a show.
Yeah.
Which it's all relative for me. That was a good crowd, and it was definitely that cool feeling of getting to invite the people from your high school you want to impress.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
No, yeah, but so it was like, but obviously it wasn't like all people I knew. I think probably it was like 250s. Out of that, it was probably like 30 people maybe
Okay.
I knew.
Yeah.
Which like you don't want it to feel like I even tell people who I know who are coming to like sit in the back because
Yeah.
how are you with performing in front of if you see people you know? Are you okay
I
with
try.
that?
If it's family, I try to avoid it. But if it's like friends and stuff, I'm a little less worried.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think-
I always just tell them to go. I'm like, just you sit in the back, please.
That's what
like,
I do, yeah.
If we were talking about that before, last year in Philly's Funniest, they sat my mom and my wife in the front row,
no.
and my wife knows like I don't want her to sit in the front
Yeah,
row.
but
And
she's
she's
too
like, I
awkward.
buckled. She's like, we got up to the front, and they were like, oh, 2 people. There's no one that wants to sit up front.
No.
So yeah, that was weird because as soon as I also addressed it as soon as I walked out,
But that's
and I shouldn't have because then it was just like the first minute of my set was like, what are you doing?
So that's what I was gonna say. I feel like if you're trying to be fully present in the room, which is something I keep trying to do, like if you're trying to be fully present and you see somebody you either address it,
Yeah.
and that can either go one or two ways. But I feel like no matter what, everyone in the crowd is always going to be thinking about that
Right.
person,
Yeah.
and that relation. So it almost makes it kind of awkward, where it's like
It did
for
feel
them-
like every time after that, whenever I would tell any joke, like you'd hear a laugh, and then almost like people turn to be like, "Did they think that was funny?" Mm-hmm. So I'm like, "You guys gotta
what
fucking
did his
get
wife
it up
think?
here."
What
Yeah.
did his mom think?
I know you've
And
heard
then-
these jokes 1,000
and especially if the
times.
jokes are about them. Now they're
Right.
like,
right.
yeah, it's like when you make a joke about a black person and everyone looks at the black person to make sure they're laughing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, so it's at the same time, if you're trying to be present and you see someone you either mention it or you don't mention it, and then you're actually making yourself not present because you're trying to ignore it.
Right.
And that's forcing you into your head out of the room.
And all in that moment, you're also like, "I gotta start my first joke now."
yeah, exactly. It's
Aren't
distra-
shoes weird, Mom?
You walk right on stage just immediately. I don't care that my family's here. Anyway.
Yeah, and everyone's like, what the
This
fuck?
isn't affecting this at all.
So like I feel like it can be a distraction. I'm sure there are plenty of people who are like true professionals and they can just push right through it. But I don't know. I definitely not preferred.
It varies because then I've had other times where like friends will come out to shows and like if it's good friends, I think where it really sucks. I've had people I work with come out to shows
Okay.
at my last job that I got laid off from. So I'm fine with that now. But like that sucked because then in my head I was like, well, sometimes I'll get comfortable and I'll say something that's not the best, but in the context of stand up,
Yeah.
very hilarious.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, no, I got to answer for this. Like, is this going to be a problem? So not that it's like
Yeah,
anything
then
is
meeting
like
with HR the next day.
yeah,
like-
yeah, that always
well, you're just picturing what if I said this in the context I know these people. So you're just picturing yourself in the office saying that.
right.
Yeah.
right. So yeah, that's always the
But
more
I
uncomfortable.
feel like if they're
when that's
coming to a
happened.
comedy show, they know the
Right.
context.
So
Right.
is that day leading up? Are you a little more nervous than you would be before?
If
Is
there
it-
are people.
if like specifically for helium.
yes, it's definitely the
Like are you
least-
thinking about it throughout?
It was the least amount of crowd work I've ever done on a show because
Yeah.
you're more thinking about like what if, like 'cause I feel like normal with crowd work. Like if you're fucking in Portland or Indianapolis, I'll just say wild shit. And it's just like it's just water on a duck just slips right
Yeah.
off, and you're not really thinking about
Right.
it leaving past this room, right?
Right.
But when it's like my Aunt Linda,
Yeah.
or
You
like
have to
is-
answer questions about it
yeah,
at Christmas. Like,
and even if you probably didn't, you're still. I just feel a little more like I just kind of stuck to the script. I did a little, but I'm mainly stuck to the script because
Yeah.
like, it's just I don't know. You definitely like. I'm definitely more thinking about how those people, my family or friends, would like take it or something.
Right.
I do the same thing when your Aunt Linda's at my shows too. So
yeah.
your Aunt Linda's a huge fan of comedy.
Yeah,
I've seen
dude,
her
I
in
know.
every
Wildly
bar
busy,
show.
dude. Yeah, she's going to
Every bar show.
That's crazy. That's so sick. And
Yeah.
then the flexing, taking pictures of people after, I would look for those 30 people I knew and be like, you want one?
Oh,
It's a real
absolutely.
told you so show.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, that's a good name for your special. Told you so.
Yeah.
Told you I could fucking do this, guys.
Yeah, and then like you even like invite all your teachers, who.
Yeah.
What's up with? Isn't like there's a big thing in rap
Rappers?
songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are these teachers so mean to rappers?
But when you
man?
think about like everything rappers talk about is what like these kids probably came into class with like fat bitch, and she's like, I hope you never make it.
You're gonna
And
have
like,
nothing.
okay.
Nothing.
Your Mark, yeah,
Mr.
Mark
Smalls.
I get what you're saying. Like you'd think it's so unlikely that a teacher was calling a single kid out and being like, "You
Right.
are a fucking
You
loser."
will never amount to anything.
But if you think about what rappers are like and what they rap about in songs, they probably were problem children to some extent.
Yeah, maybe they were right about Future.
Well, I used to like when the athletes would talk about, like there was I forget which player it was, but they used to do these like player profiles before a game. And this kid was talking about, when I was in 8th grade, I was 6'5", 250 pounds. And I remember I had a teacher in high school tell me, you'll never be anything. I'm like, there's no way somebody looked at like some 6'7",
Right.
300-pound kid. And he's like, you'll never be anything good. It's like, dude.
It could have been that maybe with athletes, they put all of their energy towards sports, and probably the more academic teachers probably were bitter about that.
Yeah.
And being
Yeah.
That's not going to work out, and you need to know, geography or whatever. So I could see them being bitter about an athlete. That
True,
makes more sense.
true.
Because they know where their time is going.
Right.
Whereas
Yeah,
like,
teachers are probably jealous as hell of like someone like,
Athletes.
damn, this kid is going to succeed and he's not going to be a high school teacher.
Yeah,
Damn it.
when
Like-
you're that size, if
Yeah.
you were like 7 feet, 300 pounds, you could walk into a high school and be like, I'm the principal now. And they'd be like, all right, you can't stop them.
yeah, exactly.
That's how the Vikings took over a large chunk of land.
They had some other methods.
is
But
ours
I get where
now.
you're coming from.
No, I think for JV was the main. Wait, what is JV? I don't know sport. That's
Holy theater kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wait.
let's see. What do you think JV stands for?
justice, variety.
Just
No.
really trying.
No, and I don't want to be that sports ball. Like I
No,
don't want to.
it's
I don't
junior-
like
junior
those.
varsity.
JV was junior varsity, but
Junior
as a kid
varsity.
who never made varsity, played junior varsity, I would go and tell people that I was the justice variety. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
justice, variety.
I'm on the
Yeah, I'm in
justice
the Justice
team.
League
That's
now,
like the
guys.
cool social justice warrior.
Yeah, the
I'm
ju-
of the justice variety.
Yeah, that guy's actually homeless.
So you were JV and not varsity, and
Yeah,
like
I
JV
mean-
is right. It's like the junior to the varsity.
it's like, there's freshman, which is like you're literally just a freshman.
Uh-huh.
And then JV's like usually the in-between time. And then varsity's like the big dogs.
What? So is that a certain age, or is that just quality of playing?
It can be quality. That's why it's cool if you're a freshman playing varsity.
So freshmen can be
it
varsity.
can happen. And you're a guy who's getting quite a lot of kisses in high school.
You can also be a
We had-
senior playing JV. I did
Yeah.
a little bit of that. That
You're
sucked.
you're preaching to the choir here, brother.
That
Bear.
sucked.
no.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We probably should have done a little theater in the. But was there any JV or varsity for theater?
No, well, yeah, I guess it's like chorus and then leads. I guess that's our.
You're either a
version of it.
tree or you're the guy.
Yeah,
up front.
exactly.
That's-
Wait, so did you go to LA to do stand up or was it acting?
Stand up.
Okay.
Stand up. Yeah. Well, I was delusional enough to do stand up, not delusional enough to do acting.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
I wasn't
yeah.
that far out. But no,
Acting is the JV or stand up is the JV delusional when acting
Fair.
yeah,
is
it's
the
the
varsity,
varsity delusional. Yeah, like what are
Varsity
you?
Delusional is a great band name.
Varsity delusional. What kind of music is that? Is that
It's prog rock.
prog rock.
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's kind of experimental. Yeah,
Prog rock's like Rush.
Prog
Yeah.
rock is the
It's got a
rapper
lot
who
of
got told he
square-
wouldn't be anything.
yeah,
It's beautiful, dude.
kind of experimental. That's why it's called like progressive rock.
Yeah,
right? 'Cause
yeah.
is
It's
kind of-
it's just a lot. It's a lot of nerds noodling on their instruments. What, you know what?
It makes beautiful sound, baby.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
good with it.
I don't know why I sounded like the biggest producer.
yeah.
Makes beautiful sounds.
We're gonna get your name up in lights. All right,
You're gonna be a
varsity
star, kid.
delusional.
Guys, I'm
Gonna be
barely
the
gonna
next big
touch
thing.
you.
Kisses.
Speaking of wait, what is it? Have you guys been watching The Idol at all?
The Idol?
The new weekend show.
What is
Oh,
that?
no.
Am
I thought you were just being fancy calling it American Idol. What is
No,
that?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I thought you were
The
one of my
Idol.
grandparents saying, "You watching The Idol?"
Yeah, am I the only? I think me and my
What
girlfriend are
is
the only
this?
people watching
The
the show.
Idol.
It's about Rachel
Johnny Depp's
Sennett. She's
daughter?
a comedian. So The Weeknd plays this like
Oh, I've seen clips
predatory
about
dude.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lily Rose Depp, who I mean those cheekbones. There's no way those are real. That's crazy. Her face looks like a meerkat.
Is she Johnny Depp's daughter?
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Oh, she
Oh
looks
my
exactly
God.
like him.
Yeah, young JD.
She doesn't have nearly
She
enough
does
jewelry
really
on
young
though.
JD.
Yeah, but so she's a pop star and she's gone through a lot of like trauma, and then the Weeknd is able to come in and manipulate her and start a sex cult in her house.
What?
And he's like trying to get her to, make raw music, so they're like fucking while they're recording music and shit.
Oh my god.
This is an interesting cast.
No.
Hank Azaria.
Yeah. Yeah, you got fucking Chief Wiggum as like an Israeli agent. It's crazy.
He's just randomly.
It is wild. But my description of it is making it sound way more entertaining than it is. It's super like slow paced and boring.
Yeah.
But you keep watching and waiting for crazy shit to happen, and it keeps.
I just saw a clip of it the other day. I thought it was a music video he had where he like some guy is touching his girlfriend, and then he's like weird about it, and then he tells his girlfriend to tell the guy to leave. Yeah. She won't say, and then he just slaps the dude. Is this
That's
the
a
same
Weeknd
show?
video?
I thought this was in The Idol.
Oh yeah.
Where she's like pressing on the girl's stomach, and then she's like laughing about it.
Yes.
Okay,
it's some like dietitian, and he's like, "Oh yeah, those are good. Your abs looking good." He's like, "What the fuck?" And you can't tell what the intention of the show is. Like, is the Weeknd supposed to be intimidating, or are we supposed to be like, look at this guy trying to be intimidating and failing? It's hard to read the intention, or if it's just not landing.
True.
Because there's even another scene where they go to like a store together, and like one of the attendants, who's probably gay, is at like a Louis Vuitton store, Valentino. He's like helping her like pick out outfits, and the Weeknd's like when she walks away, he goes, "Let me get you looking at her again. Let me get you looking at her again." And like he's not scary.
Yeah,
and
dude.
you can't tell, is this supposed to be funny, or you can't tell if it's unintentionally funny.
You wonder if it comes down to how delusional is the Weeknd when he like accepted the script. Was he like, so I'm the cool guy, right? Obviously.
But the thing is,
he's a
real life,
ridiculous looking guy.
The Weeknd is the cool guy because he's an amazing and one of the biggest singers in the world.
Right.
But when you take that context away, and like he's just a dude.
Yes.
Like he doesn't have any intimidation.
He's like
him.
a 5'7" guy with like a circular face.
And I've
never
been able to get over the misspelling in his name.
That really bugs you?
It bugs the hell out of me.
I spelled it so much that it corrects it to that.
Really?
Yes.
You are deep in the show.
Yeah.
Your note card fell out where you were like, just talk about the idol.
Yeah, they actually reached out for a collaboration.
You definitely
sponsored.
You auditioned for this and didn't get it. And it's your life's mission to be like,
I was supposed to be Troy Sivan.
He was supposed to be the Weeknd.
Yeah, I was supposed to be Lily
the
Rose
Weeknd
Depp.
and Connor King were our two finalists for the
dude,
role.
They looked at our follower count and like, all right. This guy actually, he was a YouTube singer.
See that? I don't like that either. Don't put an E on the end of your name if it's Troy.
I don't
Just
think
be Troy.
Okay, in fairness, he didn't have a choice. The Weeknd did.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I bet you his real name isn't Troye.
That we know of. Oh yeah, maybe he has the E the Weeknd needs, dude.
See?
They need to take the E from his name and add it to the Weeknd.
You solved the damn mystery.
Yes, dude. They're puzzle pieces, man. They fit together. He got tortured in the last episode. They put a shock collar on him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Was he enjoying it or no?
He acted like he was. No. No, he was being tortured. It's pretty wild.
Dude, this show sounds anywhere from great to awful. I can't decide what it...
Me neither, dude. I can't tell if I like it or not. I'm like watching it. Like I'm watching it at 9 p.m. every weekend.
He doesn't sing or anything in it?
Well,
he
doesn't sing in the show, but the score is him singing. So it's weird to have a scene where he's in it and it's also him singing.
Yeah, he thinks
in the background.
He thinks he's the cool guy in the show.
And the whole show is shot in his house in real life.
Yeah,
but it's supposed to be her house in the show, but in real life it's the Weeknd's house.
It sounds like the Weeknd just didn't want to leave home, but
this
still
is
wanted
like
to work.
this is
It's
like
so
when
wild.
Louis C.K. talked about Matt Damon writing Good Will Hunting, where he's like, "I'm hot, but I'm also a genius."
Yeah,
the Weeknd's like, "I'm a cool guy, but I'm also a singer, and this is in my house."
Exactly.
Guys, in the 5th episode, I don't know how you're gonna write this in, but just let everyone know I have a great penis. I don't know. I just need that out there.
That's crazy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, all of the girls in the cult are like in love with him and everything like that. So like, it is like he is the coolest dude, but you can't tell. It's like.
So he started a cult. Sorry, I was half listening.
It's all good. It's all good.
No,
You're still mad about the spelling.
Yeah, I can't get over it.
No,
like
so
to hear
it's
the
like
PS.
a sex cult, but they're all musicians. So the creators say it's supposed to be a satire of Hollywood, but it's like Jessica Rabbit. Like it's supposed to be a satire, but you end up like how they draw out of proportion women. But at the end of the day, you're just drawing out of proportion women. Mm-hmm. And so it's supposed to be that like all the people in his cult are wannabe musicians, and they're all really talented, but they can't break through. So that's why they're like they start like invading this pop singer's house and then like overtaking it to then further their own careers.
Is it easy Charles Mansoning? Is that not a big Charles Manson?
There's no murder yet, just some torture. So
well, I mean, if he's gonna keep making himself cooler, like he's gonna give notes to the writers, and they're gonna be like, "So in season 2, you become the best coder on the planet.
Yeah.
Why are you coding?
Well,
just something I could do."
It's funny you say about him
No big
giving
deal. I
notes.
also donate to charity a whole lot.
Because apparently, originally it was it was all written and directed by this one woman, and then the creator of Euphoria, Sam Levinson, came in and he was producing it, and then The Weeknd came in for the role, and this is a rumor that The Weeknd was mad that he wasn't featured enough, so they ended up rewriting it, which caused a woman to leave the project, and then the guy from Euphoria ended up reshooting and directing all the episodes. With The Weeknd being more of a starring role than like a background role.
Wow, I had no idea The Weeknd was just dominating things.
I mean, his headshot is so mysterious.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, he's like he's got to be the biggest singer in the world right now, right?
Yeah, I guess he's sneakily one of those guys you don't realize that.
Go to
he's
Spotify;
on
it's all
everything.
billion streams on all the
true.
songs.
Oh my god!
Especially for the TikTok generation, he's definitely the biggest.
I'm too busy backing Drizzy, dude.
Oh yeah, I guess
That's my Canadian king.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're both Canadian. Yeah.
I think they might hate each other too.
Yeah, there was a thing of like on Take Care, he wrote a lot of songs, and Drake might have like took demos that were for him.
It's something like that. But yeah,
There's some type of
the
beef.
idea of them fighting is just a lot of like
I know.
lip biting and fucking just like you really want this problem, mate?
Yeah.
You really want this?
They just light skin stare at each other. Yeah.
It's not. You don't want this, buddy. I'll come after you.
Okay, the boys are buzzing today. Eh?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
They're going just pure hockey talk.
I love that you think that they're John Candy.
Oh yeah, no.
Off
Every
the mic.
Canadian is John
Candy.
Candy.
It's not. It's Minnesota. It's not even. It's
Yeah. Who would be a bigger singer? I don't know. I think that would be him.
Who? Drake or Abel?
Yeah.
His name's Abel.
It's Aubrey and Abel.
Aubrey and Abel.
They're the two biggest
Hey,
dogs. That's the most Canadian thing of all time. If you wanted to think about who would be the two biggest Canadian guys as an American, you're like, probably two pussies named Aubrey and Abel.
Aubrey Graham.
Yeah, Wayne.
The bald.
Wayne Gretzky, the most famous person from Canada ever, is named Wayne.
Yeah.
Wayne.
You're like, I can't respect that.
It's something at least, dude.
You hockey, right?
Yeah,
Gretzky. What team?
He played for a whole bunch. He was Oilers, the Kings, the Blues, the Rangers.
What was his like known for?
Probably Oilers when he was a rookie. So the Edmonton Oilers, and then he went on a big run when he was on the Kings. I don't know. He won Stanley Cups. Excuse me, with the Oilers. I don't think he ever won one with the Kings.
Whoa, wait.
All I know is
go
I
back
woke
to the headshot.
Look at this guy.
What do you think?
Oh,
work
Wayne
done?
is so
Get
Canadian.
eyes
You
on this
think
guy.
Work done on that?
He's the most Canadian.
You think work done on that face though?
I think he's gotten a couple face pulls
Well,
or whatever they're called.
The best thing Wayne has
A
ever
little
Oh
done
my
is
plasticky.
God.
A little plasticky.
his daughter is she's just an absolute knockout. She married pro golfer Dustin Johnson.
Okay.
And she has literally just made a living off of being hot and being the daughter of the greatest hockey player of all time.
Not
Oh
a
my
bad
God.
guy.
That's it. She's never done anything else, ever.
Oh my!
And she's married to one of the best golfers in the world, too. That also helps.
Wait, I want to see what her Wikipedia tries to say she's done though, because there got to be like.
I don't think she's ever
they fluff
had
it up.
a profession. She's not a singer. She's not an actress. But I also like that because so many of those like kids from famous people are like,
Lily Rose
well, I'm
Depp.
going to be a movie producer. I'm going to be an
Yeah.
actress. I'm going to be this. It's like, just be hot and rich.
I will
It's
say
all right.
Lily
You can
Rose
be
Depp
that.
is probably the best actor on that show. She's good.
Yeah, there's not even
She
a
doesn't-
title for which
When you have a fandom and not a Wikipedia.
So they say actor, go to IMDb. I don't know if she's ever actually even acted in anything.
It said she was in the Fame TV show.
She probably just played herself.
Is this her?
And stuff.
What language is this? Were you in German? The only people who've ever written about her were the Germans.
We're the Germans.
Yeah. It's like Hasselhoff, like she only has like a following in Germany.
Okay, so yeah, here
Dude,
we
she
go.
was in a movie called Guns and Girls, In God We Trust, and then Grown Ups too. Like that's
Yeah.
only G movies.
Yeah.
Jeez. For Gretzky.
for
that's what
Gretzky. Yeah, it's like his one rule: you can act.
She also,
You
I don't think,
gotta-
ever changed her last name, so she's still Gretzky, even though she's married.
I did not think we were gonna
Well,
have
you
two
gotta,
letter
you gotta
jokes in
catch.
here.
You gotta.
Shout out to the great one's daughter.
Yeah,
Who was the
big spelling joke episode.
Who was the girl the whole thing you went viral about?
Alison
you made-
Stoner.
Alison Stoner. All right, I'm gonna try that movement of making a bit about this woman to see if
About
I can
Paulina
get
Gretzky?
After that work, I was like, I started making lists of like, all right, who all can I like make a bit about? Fucking Roxanne from a Goofy movie, dude.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get her
Your
to
next
respond.
set,
I
you
think,
get on stage,
I think we
you're
could
like,
have you solve this whole Russia-Ukraine thing. Just start writing jokes about how cute you think Putin
Yeah,
is.
dude. My first crush growing up was
I've always
Vladimir
loved
Putin.
Vlad.
and get people in rooms, dude. This is gonna work. We're gonna
You're like,
make this
Vlad's
happen.
early stuff was ripping.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, everyone likes to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but if you look at
He actually threw a baby out with bathwater once.
and-
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, when you hear his side, man, like that baby had it coming, man. Like you can't even. You gotta, poor Vlad.
Oh,
but yeah,
poor
no, it
Vlad.
definitely makes you think like, what power do I have? Where I
You
can
got
just,
something, dude. It works.
We're like, if you write a joke about like, and like you could just, and they don't remember meeting you, so you could just make it up. You
Yeah.
could just be like, oh, I
Oh,
met,
dude,
yeah.
I'll be like, when I was 12, I met Michelle Obama, and
Yeah,
now she's
exactly.
Now she's my baby girl.
I always knew she'd be the first lady one day.
Is that your celebrity crush?
Look, dude,
Not
we're
that she's not
we're not here
beautiful.
to judge.
I'm
are
not.
we?
No, I just didn't know if that was
I
a
think
joke or.
I like Mitch Obama. I think she's an underrated
Mitch?
pretty woman.
Yeah.
Successful. Used to make me run in middle school or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know if you remember that shit.
Yeah, running, changing all the cafeteria food.
That was awful.
Incredible
Yeah, she
body.
hated fat kids.
Unbelievable body.
Unbelievable
on-
body.
on
Like,
Mitch,
She was
dude.
very
Serena
anti-fat
type of body.
kid.
Very
She
Serena.
hated fat kids. That's when the first day in office, they were like, Michelle, what's your platform? She's like, I fucking hate fatties.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, we got to take it down a notch.
Yeah.
How about you're into fitness? All right, fine.
Nah.
You could call it that.
Yeah.
She used to.
But
she used
we
to
all know what it
turn-
really is.
She would turn Nickelodeon off for like 3 hours. I don't know if you remember. I'm 27, so it was around the same
Yeah,
age.
we're pretty
when
close.
there used to be a thing where Nickelodeon during the day in the summertime would just go blank and
She
be like,
cut
"Go
off the
outside."
slime?
They would say go outside.
You don't remember this at all?
They're like literally touch
I
grass.
swear to God, there was a thing where for like 3 hours in the middle of the afternoon, Nickelodeon would just have a screen that's like,
What?
"Go outside," but then it would still
That's
play
so-
commercials. Like we still have
Michelle
bills.
Yeah,
Obama
we still got to
just
pay.
pointing.
Yeah.
I didn't have cable. I would only watch cable when I go over to my grandmom's house. So that's crazy.
Dude, it was nuts. I would just sit there and be like, "This fucking country's going to hell, dude."
Your original.
They
like,
got you
yeah,
early.
Make
They got you on the
Nickelodeon
red
great
wave
again.
I was
early.
just
yeah.
sitting there eating Pop-Tarts trying to suck my own dick. Like, I can't even watch Blue's Clues.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you're trying to suck your dick. Danny Phantom cuts off. You're like, what? What the fuck?
I gotta go put my tootsies in the
My
grass.
parents see me in it.
It's so funny. The way it backfired, Michelle was like, this is going to work. And they're like, go outside and touch grass. You're like, well, I guess I'm going to go suck my own dick.
That was the beginning of QAnon. Is guys
Yeah.
being like, "If my kid wants to suck a dick and watch TV,
yeah.
Your parents catch you and you're just like, Michelle Obama told me
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, dude.
She said go outside. They're like, don't ever leave the house.
Yeah, you're chained to the radiator
Wow,
now.
yeah, dude, that was brutal. The worst.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Damn, that's crazy. I did not know. Because I knew all I knew about is her changing to school lunches.
Yeah.
But do you think it was you? It's almost like a kind of like you're kind of like frustrated at her. It's like a Stockholm syndrome, and now you are in love with her because like you're
Yes.
mad
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
she like tortured you.
That's my exact type of woman. Is be mean to me.
Yeah.
Which is why it's insane. The girl
I
I'm
have
dating now
watched you
is so
interact
nice.
with your girlfriend. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's
You guys
really-
hate
She's
each
a
other?
sweetheart.
My girlfriend's so nice.
I'm not buying it,
Dude.
I feel like behind
Really?
behind closed
Look behind your
doors.
ear. She's right there.
Hey, with a
With
plate
a
of
thing of
muffins.
lemonade.
Yeah. No, wait, so is this like the first? Well, I don't want you to shit on your exes, but in terms of like you
Rank
feeling
'em.
like but you feeling like positive affirmations and like
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know if you had anything like this, but when they're nice to you, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like a lot of it is like you've dated people who more invalidate you because of your low self-esteem. It's almost like how you see yourself, and they're validating that.
Connor, what the hell? Say that again. I'm gonna kiss you on the lips. What the? No, it is. It's never been.
This is exactly how you get you into a sex
Yeah,
cult.
I'm negative, yeah.
He's like, I have a house we could all
Yeah,
live
dude.
in.
My buddy Abel would love you.
I'm gonna be a big star.
Can I
dude.
introduce you to my friend Aubrey?
Yeah. We can watch them fight and bite their lips and yell.
Matt will do anything for you if you tell him he might get to meet Drake.
Really?
True. Yeah, if you can hook that up, I'll make it.
What would
That'll
you
be
say
your
to
next
Drake
one.
if you met him?
I would. That's the thing.
Would you say thank you?
Now I would be like, I'm sorry about this. I couldn't even enjoy meeting him. I'd be like, I know it's inconvenient. I'm sorry, man.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you'll get starstruck.
Yeah.
With anyone who's like, I mean, I'm sure there are people who don't, but it's like if there's anyone who like literally that would like you've experienced their work so many countless
Yeah.
times. You have this insane parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
It's like you're not going to be able to function.
No, of course not. But then even if I could get past that, my first thing would be like, I cannot believe how much I'm inconveniencing Like, I remember my girlfriend was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try. I wish I could set up like if you could meet Joel Embiid." And I was like, first of all, that sounds awful.
Yeah, what are you talking?
Because he'd just be like, "What's up?" And I'd be like, "I love watching you." And he'd be like, "Yeah, a ton of people do."
Against the Spurs when you drove the lane and they fouled you. He's like, "Yeah, man, it's just my job."
It's literally the Chris Farley bit.
Yeah. So I couldn't do it. So if you know Drake, if he's here with you right now, you can tell him to head home.
Well, you just need to make a joke about how he was your first crush.
I'm gonna take the thing, dude. Drake was my most beautiful little angel growing up, and then he makes like the same thing. What's that called? Where they
a duet.
A duet.
Yeah.
Like, so the police have been notified about this kid.
You guys make it your life goal to get famous enough that Drake wants to meet you.
Oh, true.
Drake's on a podcast someday. He's like, "Yo, I gotta meet this guy, Matt."
Yeah, the comedy thing's not gonna do it. Maybe I gotta start doing some.
Doesn't he follow Jamie Wolf?
Yeah.
Does he really?
I don't know where that came
step
from.
one.
He's a fan of.
We're gonna put
comedy.
it out to the universe. Anyone listening to this, if you know how Matt can meet Drake, let's make it the most awkward Patreon content ever.
To make it comedian, Make-A-Wish Foundation.
That's
just get me to
you
Drake.
still put it behind a paywall, even if you meet Drake.
Bucks, dude. Yeah.
If you donate $10,000, we will put some of that money toward Matt meeting Drake.
Yep. That's a beautiful thing.
We got to get you cancer, move you to Harrisburg, you know?
True.
Dude, I'm working on it, bro.
Yeah.
Did you see the White Claws I've been putting down? The old live.
White Claws cause cancer?
That's what the rumors are, dude.
There's it's been a while since they came out with like, because for the longest time when they were everyone was smoking cigarettes. At some point, someone was like, "These things are bad shit," and they're like, "But everyone's doing them." There's got to be something now outside of like vapes and stuff like that. It's got to be White Claw. Cell phones.
Well, I was talking to an older dude one time, and he was saying like I don't know. I was a little stoned when we were talking, and I said like I think in the future, cell phones will be viewed the way because once we actually view cell phones, or maybe if you want to just go to social media as a true addiction, and we actually have like quantified evidence of how it is affecting us negatively, maybe those will become the new cell phones. And it's like we have like cell phone free restaurants and stuff like that, and slowly it's getting ostracized. So the cell phone users got to go outside because if other people see it, it's going to trigger their addiction. So you got to keep it outside the people who are trying to be clean.
Yeah,
I'm just picturing you doing this in an Apple store, and the guy's like,
"Sir,
cool.
are you gonna
So
buy?"
did you put it in rice when you dropped it in water, or what, man? I just got to get you out of here.
I know it sounds like a bad Black Mirror episode, but like I'm pretty sure.
No, it will be that eventually. It's going to be like a resort is going to be you lock your phone away in a safe.
Well, they already have those silence retreats and those type of things. But I wonder if it will ever get to the place where like we actually, because what it was, I mean, according to the episode of Mad Men I watched, like it was like a Reader's Digest article of like proving that the cancer correlation with cigarettes. So like I wonder if there is like an act, but it can't be just mental health because people don't take mental health seriously. Right. So it has to be like an actual physical toll.
Well, it's also who's going to be the one to report on that when like cell phone companies make so much money and can suppress all that for so long.
Where are you going to read about it on?
True.
Right.
It could
You're
just
not
be
going to read it on a cell phone.
It could just be like fossil fuels too, where it's like, yeah, we know it's fucking it up, but man, I love going fast.
I mean, and also cigarettes are still around. So it's like it won't. I don't think it'll ever be eliminated, but I wonder if it will become more stigmatized.
I'll take a brain tumor in my 90s if you mean I can. That means I can just have Google at all times.
You could get maybe like another generation removed where they see you on your phone and you're like, fucking boomer shit. What are you doing, dude?
You're on your phone. I just close my eyes and it's in my brain.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's like cringe to be on your cell phone.
Grandpa's using his thumbs like a fucking loser.
Yeah, dude.
I'm over here scrolling the web.
Yeah, you got your goggles on. Yeah. But do you actually think, because I'm not ever sure that with like the neural link and all that stuff, I don't know if we'll ever get to that point where people will want to do that. I think there will be
it's going to always be sections of the population are going to totally give into it.
Yeah.
Some are going to be on the fence, and then there's going to be ones that are completely against it, like go off the grid. We need to return to the land.
Well,
I think as long as there's that balance, I'll always be the person that rides in the middle.
Yeah.
I'll be the guy who's going to the mountains, but he has like the headset thing on. I'm like,
you're balancing it.
Both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm more talking about what's going to be mainstream, because like as someone who's like has a VR headset. I mean, I got it in 2020 when like I wasn't going anywhere, so like to do that. When I was using it, I'm like, this is fun, but no ways is ever going to be mainstream.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's too scary to have something on your head. Even if you can pass through and see around you.
That is the weirdest
It's just
part.
going to make people feel fucking scared.
It's an insane looking thing.
So
too.
it'll never go mainstream. Now, if we do the fucking thing where it's just, a contact lens, like maybe then. But I don't know if that technology.
It will have to be so minimalistic, so you don't feel. I mean, there's people who I wouldn't even wear a flat brim hat because I think it would look ridiculous.
Yeah,
like walking around with bug
goggles.
Eyes. I mean, just like
they'll make them fashionable. I mean, Zuckerberg's already designing the first ones with Ray-Ban, so like he understands that he's like. These have to be because he talked about it when he was on Rogan. I re-listened to that one recently, and he was talking about where he's like we understand like the beginning of this is going to be an enormous headset. He's like, but you also got to remember the first computers fit in a warehouse, and now we have more computing power on our cell phone than they did on like the first rocket. So he's like, so the first headsets are gonna look stupid. He's like, we're doing our best to make it look good. He's like, but then the next iteration is glasses. They're going to look stupid.
Yeah.
But then that's going to get... And he's like, also, the one thing he was kind of alluding to was like, fashion is going to change and technology is going to change to the point where...
He thinks they're going to intersect?
So if you do look at it already, I noticed I was watching Pete Davidson's show, Bupkis.
Yeah.
All like trendy, popular sunglasses right now are chunky and huge again. So remember like in like the early 2000s, that was like the thing, like big sunglasses, all this shit. So like now like... designer sunglasses are getting fat again, and thick, and technology's go. So it's like eventually they're going to intersect.
Yeah, the glaucoma
like,
glasses.
Oh no, that's just the glasses, and now it also has augmented reality. Then eventually it's the contact and
into it.
Then they're in your brain. They're just trying to get closer to our eyes.
We're really wondering when it intersects is if there's not going to be nuclear warfare in like 30
years.
Yeah,
like we're gonna
you don't have
make
to worry
it there.
about that.
Sometimes we're like, maybe they should
but the
we should hit
headsets
the
are
reset.
smaller.
Yeah, you're gonna wear VR to like look at not a desolate wasteland. You're
Yeah,
like,
it's
oh,
true.
grass.
I'll take it. Anything to escape reality for 20 minutes at a time.
What is the actual like timeline on that? Because I remember like a few years ago, like, hey, in 30 years, no more water. I'm like, how? I don't.
Oh, we're out of water. Oh yeah, that shit's crazy. Yeah.
But is that? I don't.
Where are they gonna put it, dude?
I just got so scared. I love water.
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
You're grabbing your bottle for dear
so
life
much.
right
I know.
now.
I'm thinking about how many ounces do I have to save.
You think you're about to hoard it from us or something?
If this was an apocalyptic situation, I have to murder both of you right now.
Speaking of water, I
Honestly.
do have to make a pee. I don't know how long.
Oh, we are. Sorry, we are well past an
shit,
hour.
cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
we
were
are?
cooking.
Damn.
Do you have anything you want to promote coming up? This will probably be out in a week. We'll drop this episode
In a week,
usually.
Austin at the Vulcan Gas Company. Saturday, July 15th, my birthday.
Nice.
So that'll be good. And then New York, July 20th at Stand Up New York. And then that's all for my dates right now until the fall.
Where
So,
can they
yeah.
find you online? Where's your
At
handles?
Connor King me. Just search Connor King, Connor. And I mean, if you made it this far, you probably already hate me anyway. No.
Falsehoods. Falsehoods.
What do you got coming up, Maddie?
I don't know. I'd have to look, but just Matt Peoples Comedy. Check out for the next post-game show coming up. I think we had to push it back to August, Tap Room in New Jersey. And, yeah, that's the most important stuff. Yeah, Matt Peoples Comedy.
Yeah.
Jay, what do you got, Slippery Jay?
I have, like, no shows coming on. No, I put my calendar up. Monte Comedy, Hacks Comedy Golf. They're still out there. We teased it that we do have a Patreon coming for this. We're figuring out when and what the tiers are, but some of the content on there will be golf-related. We'll figure it out.
And Drake.
And Drake, we're going to get Drake
Please.
in there. So patrons, donate $10,000. Matt meets Drake.
That's it.
We get to watch Matt cry.
The $10,000 tier, meet Drake.
There's definitely got to be a cameo account of a Drake impersonator. So you got to at least do that.
I can get a hold of that.
Oh,
Yeah, we can make that happen.
definitely get.
That would be funny.
We got to get the best Philadelphia Drake impersonator, or just whoever looks.
Dude, set a
listeners, if you know someone that looks like Drake, send them our way. We're
I
gonna
have
get
a
them on
friend
the
who
cast.
looks like Drake.
All right,
we used to
tune
call
in next week.
It's
when we
kind
have
of
his
fucked
friend
up, but
on.
as a kid in middle school, we called him Down syndrome Drake.
Well, you just found the new.
Wait, where's my phone? I
You just
gotta
found the
send you a
new
photo of this
third
guy.
mic of our
Yeah, not-
podcast. It's going to be us and Down syndrome Drake.
Not
from
started
now
from the
on.
bottom, baby. Started from the down. All right.
That's good.
And if you just listen to this, subscribe on YouTube and make your friends
Yeah.
subscribe. We love you.
Hands